Hello, Talking After Dark family, and welcome to another episode of Talking After Dark. Let's entitle this video, I Don't Need a Man. So, when you utter those words out of your mouth, they come with great implications. They're not just mere words because the tentacles that come from those words are far reaching and damaging to us all. Especially to the generations that are coming behind you. Women have often been told, especially late, that they don't need a man. Some parents have told their children or their female children that if you go to work and you work hard and you make your own money and you buy your own car and you buy your own house and you can go where you want when you want to go and you can do what you want when you want to do it and nobody has to tell you what to do and you don't have to come home and go to work and come home and cook for someone and then one day all of a sudden he leaves you high and dry. Or that is so not right. So not right. I don't think that God intended for us to be alone or intended for you ladies to be alone. We have some very, very amazing women in this world, especially our African American sisters, because you have been through so much from the beginning of time. You have been fighters, you have been warriors, you have been the soul keepers of our families. You have been the breadwinners. You have been the mom, the dad, the doctor, the lawyer, the politician. You have been all those things to your family. And without the glue that you bring to the family, the families will not survive. And it's no different today. If you are not there and you are not the head of this family, if you are not the glue that keeps this family together, there is no family. There will be no family. So I apologize for all of you that have been told that you don't need a man just because you have great resources, just because you have your own money, just because you have letters behind your name, just because you can hammer a nail, just because you can change your own flat tire, just because you can put gas in your car, just because you can pay your own way. That was not God's intentions for us or for you, that you be without a man. It's okay that you take your own trash to the curb. It's even okay that you cut your own grass. And I tell you, as a man, it disturbs me greatly, greatly to see a woman cutting her own grass or raking the leaves or um, tilling the land or whatever that is. And it's okay that she can do it. It's even better if she was doing it with a significant other. Um, Taking a trash to the street, even if a woman was married, it's okay if she took the trash to the street, but it's not because she had to. It's because they worked together as a team and they did this together, and she just didn't mind taking the trash. But it bothers me to see a woman having to put the trash to the curb and bring the trash can in and to wash her own vehicles. So please don't mistake what I'm saying is that these are things that women should not be. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that when a woman is working with her husband, her significant other, whatever that relationship is, and these are things that they're doing together, it's a beautiful thing. But when a woman doesn't because she has to, because there's no one else there, not because there's just no one there, but because she feels that she doesn't need anyone there because she can do these things herself. A woman can't protect herself like a man can. I know, yes, a woman can shoot a gun, she can shoot a rifle, and some women are probably brutal enough to beat somebody up if they had to. That is so not what I'm talking about. It was intended that we would be your providers and your protector, and we would be the pursuers and all those other things. I'm not minimizing anything about a woman because I think that you are beautiful. I think that you are beautiful in every way, not just in sight or in vision or any of those things. I think you're beautiful because your heart is big. Um, your living is big. Your God is big. And I really know and I believe in my heart that God never intended for you to believe that story about you don't need a man. You do need a man. So here's what that picture looks like when you buy into the ideology that you don't need a man. If you're a woman with children and you believe that you don't need a man, and that's what you say, that's your platform, that's what you stand on. But when you have children at home, when your son does not see a man around in your life, your son begins to devalue relationships. He begins to grow up or add an idea to himself that he don't need a woman. So if he begins to see that he doesn't need a woman because a woman doesn't need him, where does that leave our future? Where does that even leave the possibility of you having grandchildren? I know women can have children for men that they're not married to, and they can still have, I got it. But look at the big picture and the holistic approach to what I'm talking about. Just think about your daughter, for instance. Your daughter see you without a man or think that she does not need a man, and she grows up with the idea that she does not need a man. So she grows up thinking that she is supposed to take care of herself, that she is supposed to be alone, that she is supposed to not have a man in her life. This is just bigger than on the surface. This is bigger than just the idea that you don't need a man just because you have a job, just because you make your own money, just because you own your own house, just because you have your own car, just because you can go and come like you want to, just because you don't want anybody to cook for, you don't want anybody to clean behind, you don't want anybody. That, to me, and this is just my opinion, that's crazy. It's crazy because of the tentacles that are far reaching from that idea that you don't need a man. You do need a man. You shouldn't have to take the trash out. You shouldn't have to cut the grass. You shouldn't have to pump your own gas or change your own flat tire. You shouldn't have to figure it all out for yourself. You shouldn't have to figure out what to do if there's a leak in the roof. You shouldn't have to figure out if you need the carpet changed in the house or you need plumbing work done or electrical. You shouldn't have to do all of that by yourself. It is okay if you do and if you're that kind of woman, but not because you choose to be, because you don't have to be. If you choose to be, then you take on all of those roles, all of those responsibilities of about what you have to be. And when you believe that, because, and you wonder why men feel the way they feel or think the way they think or relationships turn out the way they do, because if you go into a relationship just to date someone and you still believe that you don't need a man and you just spending time with one or you just going out with one, but you have no further intentions of that, you just want somebody to hang out with or somebody to be with every now and then, but you don't really want that man to be your man because all those things I just talked about, you feel like you can do them all on your own. You do such a disservice to yourself with that idea that you don't need a man. It was God's intention that for every man there'll be a woman, and for every woman there'll be a man. When our children see us outside of relationships and they wonder why there's nobody there, why we're always home, or why we do everything by ourselves, and even the hard stuff, that's not a very good picture for them because they have to grow into that as well. And if they don't see that loving kindness and tenderness and those emotions and all those things that make relationships what they are, when your children don't see that, they grow up without a heartfelt feeling or concern for another person of the opposite sex because they don't see it. They don't know it. You've not had those conversations with them. They've not seen those things in your space. So what are they to do when nobody ever told them or showed them that there is someone for you? There is a place for a man in your life. There is a place for a woman in your life. And it's not just to take the trash out. It's not just to change the carpet or it's not about any of those things, but it's about everything in totality, about all those things that makes us men or make you a woman. It's about all those things. And I know, ladies, I know you all have been hurt so much. You have been led astray so much. You have been through so much. And I apologize. I apologize for every man that has ever done you wrong, that has ever caused you to feel like you had to pull back and you had to set yourself apart from reality and from the reality of being in a wholesome relationship. As long as there's breath in your body, you should have the occasion to want to find somebody in your life that you can have peace with, that you can have love and joy with, that you can serve the Lord with together. Don't allow those things to make you succumb to the fact that you don't need a man just because some knucklehead or some whatever you want to call him, whatever you want to call a hurtful person in your life that has caused you to regress and digress from relationships that have caused you to feel like you don't need a man. And all of these things are some of these hurts are so painful that they're not easy to recover from. But as long as there's breath in your body, that means there is opportunity. There is a possibility that there could be someone, that there is a chance for you to find that loving connection, that loving relationship to make life what it's supposed to be. Everything that God intended to be for you and for your children. Your children should see you in wholesome, holistic relationships. They should see you go through the emotional ups and downs of relationships, knowing that every day is not a holiday, that some days it does rain, some days the sun shine, and it's just like a season, but nevertheless, but you're able to manage that relationship. You're able to navigate through the good times and the bad times, the hurts and the pains and all those things that make relationships what they are, because they are not perfect. They are not perfect. Please don't subject yourself to what you have been told or what you have been led to believe or feel because you've been hurt and of painful times and painful situations in your life that there's no place for a man. There's no room in the inn. Please don't do that to yourself. Because when you do that to yourself, you do it to your sons, you do it to your daughters. You tell these young men that they don't need a woman and they don't have to, they're not responsible for how they treat a woman or what they say or what they do, and they don't know how to be respectful to a woman because they don't see it, they've never seen it. They don't know what that picture looks like. Your daughter doesn't know or will never know how a man is supposed to treat her or what she should be looking for in a suitor, in a possible husband or father bearer. They don't get to see that because they don't see it in you. And when you live your life like that, this is what you do to these children. They don't understand. This is why they do some of the crazy things they do, because they don't know any better. They haven't seen any different. They haven't been told or shown what that picture looks like, or how to date someone, or how to manage a relationship, because they don't see it. Because they hear your conversations with your girlfriends on the phone about you don't need a man, about why are you always going somewhere with your girlfriends, always doing something with your girlfriends, and a man is never in the picture. That is not a good picture. That's not a good picture for you. It's not a good picture for your family. It's not a good picture for society. It is just not a good picture. It just tells God that he was wrong about us and we're more right about ourselves. Watching these reality shows and all of these other things that tell us that we don't need a man because we are every woman. But you are every woman already. Whether you're in a relationship or out of a relationship, you are every woman. Because when you're in a relationship, believe it or not, us guys, we ain't running nothing. We don't control nothing. Everything is about you and what you do and how you do it and what you want. From the color of the house or the paint on the walls to the car you want to drive, that's our duty and responsibility to you, to make sure that we make you happy, to make sure that we have a home that's conducive for a lifestyle of living that is amenable to the both of us. That's what this is all about. It's not about any of those other things, taking out the trash or cutting the grass, because we can do all that together. Even the cooking or the cleaning or whatever those things are that you do by yourselves. Those are things that we can do together and collectively. Ladies, it was never intended for that. And I am truly sorry for every person or everything or every situation that made you feel like you don't need a man. Please don't do that to yourself. There is a relationship out there for you. There is a man out there for you. There's a woman out there for you guys. And I don't want to make this sound horrible, but sometimes if you meet a guy, you date a guy, and he's not the one, push on. That don't mean you shouldn't date somebody else, or at least leave yourself open or leave the light on for an opportunity to find the right one. You don't have to trust him or them or anybody else. Trust yourself to know what you want and know what you need in your life and what that picture looks like for you until you find the right one. At one time, I thought that if a person had been married 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times, that, man, what's wrong with them that they had to be married that many times? But when I really thought about it and I really considered what I'm telling you is that they're actually smart about it, because you do it until you get it right. You do it until you find the person that is right for you. Because after all, what's left? What's the alternative? To live a life to 80 or 90 years old by yourself and alone with nobody to love you and you to love them? So listen, forget all that stuff that other people say or people talk about, or the sitcoms and the reality shows and all that stuff. Do what you need to do for you. And if you need to do it 7, 8, 9, or 10 times until you get it right, if that's God's plans for you, until you find the right one. And the right one may not be next door to you. They may not be in the neighborhood down the street. They may not be in a township across town. They might be in another city. They might be in another state. So you're going to have to create some ways of finding your Boaz or your next relationship by some other conventional or unconventional means. But please don't give up. And please don't suffer to the idea that you don't need a man. You may not need a man, but we need a woman. And if you're thinking like that, how are we going to find you? And how are you going to find us? So please, let's not continue this disservice to ourselves with the idea that we don't need a man. You do need a man. For all the reasons God said you need one, you need a man. Your children need to see you with a man. Society needs to see you with a man. We have moved so far away from the family, so far away from what that picture looks like in the village, that these kids are just running rampant out there because they don't have any love. Yes, you love your children, and yes, you love them to the best abilities. That's not the only love they need to see. They need to see a holistic approach to love. They need to know that they can be emotionally tied to their hearts and to their feelings and to their emotions and to all those things that make them love one another, not hate one another, because they have not developed any emotions towards each other, man towards woman, or woman towards man, or even their friends. We've got to do a better job at what we show these kids in this society, that there is value in God's plans for our life and for our living as it relates to relationships, as it relates to family. Listen, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. All I'm suggesting to you is that I believe God's plans for relationships is much better than our plan. So if you've tried yours for a while, try God's plan for your life and for your living and see what that picture looks like for you. I promise you, it will work for you. God bless you and God keep you. And remember, share, like, subscribe, and do comment. Talking After Dark. Thank you.